Um, Good evening, everyone. Just like our mentor said already, my name is Amaka. Most of you might know me, some might not know me. Let's not just waste our time right now. Today, we are here to talk about the normal scanner we've always talked about. From our previous section, we talked about Smartmonics Scanner, one of the best scanner that GIFO actually gave to us. Now, when you talk about Smartmonics, I know some of you who are traders must have come across this thing called, or an acronym called SMC, which is Smart Money Concept. So this Smart Money Scanner, at least with what I just said right now, you can beat your chest and know that, or rather you tell me that this Smart Money Concept is actually an order block concept. So now these order blocks, another block is actually a price zone where large number of buy or sell orders were placed, leading to a significant price, as a significant price move, or you can as well say the order blocks are actually where large institutional traders place their orders. Okay, first of all, these order blocks I'm talking about, on these are Smartmonics scanners, where the scanner actually mapped for us is what we call another block zones. It was mapped with is mapped with green and red. Both are the resistance zones and that of support zones. Just these zones that what I'm talking about. Other blocks, and then right here again, below here. Now, on this Smart Money Scanner, I know that our previous sections, you must have understood the whole indicators here. Like this line here on top of the chart is called a moving average. Some persons call it exponential moving average. So the work of it is actually when the market is below, when the market is below it, that means the market is selling. But when the market is above it, that means the market is buying. For instance, from here right now, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Please, if you can, or if you can hear me, just type an A, probably. Okay. All right. So this moving average here is it actually identifies or signifies the movement of the market. When market is below it, sorry, mute yourself. When market is below the moving average, is actually a sell market, and when market is above the moving average, is actually buying. So now we also have the divergence signals or signs over here. These Ds around, these are RSI. These whole lines over here is what we call RSI, Relative Strength Index. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. All right, I'm talking about this divergence here. The sign D below here. I don't know if you can actually see my cursor. The sign D here is the divergence, and it actually gives you the confidence or confirmation in the market that once you see it above, it signifies something, and once you see it below, it signifies something. So the above is actually when it's at the resistance zone, is actually going to sell, and that is why it's here. The market sold down. But when you see it at the support zone, you see the market going up or moving up, which is like a bullish market. So now this harmonic sign here, written cipher, is actually one of the confirmations we have on Smartmonics Scanner. And once it appears, it also gives us the confirmation that this our signal or the trade idea that is being popped out is actually very valid or is actually going to go through. Okay. Aside that, let's go deep into the smart monies right now, how you can actually make money, because that is why we are here. Let me not go too far. Now we talked about other blocks. These zones marked here are all other blocks. Now, if I am a newbie in this scanner, let's say I brought in someone and the person is actually looking for scanner to use, I always want to talk to them about this smart monies because it's actually very easy for them to use. And how do I tell them to use it? I always tell them to go to 5 minutes time frame and above to take any trade idea they see. And once they're taking the trade idea, I always tell them to look at the TPs. Once you see this kind of zones, all these kind of zones around your TP, probably you see it at TP3, I will advise you to take TP2 as your take profit. And then if you see it probably above your TP5, there is every tendency that that market is going to get to TP5. So I'll advise you just maybe like take your TP3, but before your market gets to TP3, at least you trade your stop loss on it. This is how I talk to the newbies, people who have no ideas on trading at all. And the reason I say this is because I have used these smart monies and I know I can tell you and I can confidently beat my chest is 85% accurate. So even if you hit your SL, look out for another trade idea. And when you get the other trade idea, it's going to cover up the SL you actually hit in the last trade. Okay, now as a trader, I will tell you that even if you do not see a trade idea popped out for you, for instance, you see this kind of zone mapped out here. This is gold. I'm going to use gold because I love the pair. It's one of my best in smart monies. So now this is a gold pair, and then let's say this whole zone here is actually not. Sorry, let me map out something. Let's say the whole of this. Let's say the whole of this wasn't here. This whole trade, this whole market that tapped into this particular zone. Let's say it was not here. And now we see market rallied up, and immediately market rallied up, like it went bullish. We saw that this market now called a zone for us. That's like an order block zone. You can still call it a key level, anyone. So now, immediately you see this zone, the only thing you can actually do, you don't need to wait for the scanner to pop out a trade idea for you, or you wait for the scanner to actually maybe like that's the trade idea, or maybe like tell you what to do. The scanner doesn't talk. It will not tell you what to do. All you need to do is just take out your price from this zone. The scanner has already done everything it needs to do for you because it has given you a key level. This is actually a key level. You can actually call it also an order block where a large institutional traders place their orders. These are like movers and shakers of the market. They are always here at this zone, waiting for market to tap into them. It's just like you trading like a boss. So when you see this kind of zones, all you need to do is you use your cursor and actually trace a price. For instance, I can actually take this price of 3363. I'll place my sell limit. Once I place my sell limit, I'll go for my stop loss. My stop loss should be above this whole zone. Probably I'll give myself like 20 pips, 15 pips, depending on your account size. Do you understand? So now, when you must have placed your stop loss, the next is your TP. It's either you go for the lowest market went to the recent low of the market, or you look out for the lower zone. You look out for the lower zone provided for you and use as your take profit. Let's say, for instance, we actually use this. This is 15 minutes time frame, if I'm not mistaken. This 15 minutes time frame, and markets, we waited for this market. Let's say we are the boss waiting for this market. We've already set our sell limits. And then trade idea was not popped out. The smart monies never called it for us. And now, as a trader, is what I'm explaining right now. As a trader, all you need to do is you place your own sell limit. Now you are the new Eric yourself. You place your own sell limit here and do what? You wait for the market to tap into you. Let market come to you. You don't go for the market. You understand? The market will come to you, pick you up without hitting your SL. and went straight down to your TP. Let's say we took this area because this is the lowest, the recent low market went. You understand? The recent low, the market went. Or let me just say, okay, fine, let's use this one. This is the recent low. After this one comes this one, before this one that the zone tapped into. So now let's say we took this. At least you must have gotten nice pips. Let's say you must have gotten up to 20 something pips. This is good. And you know what 20 something pips can actually do for our account. Now you take this as your TP1, for instance. Your TP2 should go for this next low. Then the TP3 should be at this your latest zone. You understand? And when you are at this TP1, TP2, TP3, you must have set your own limits and your TP by yourself. So imagine how the market played out. Market played out by coming to us and sold all the way down. You see? And these other blocks or these zones or the key levels, how do we actually identify it? We identify these other blocks by one, it sweeps liquidity. There must be an imbalance which is like an imbalance or inefficiency in price action, meaning a large price move away from the block. Do you understand? Now, this price move away from this block, because when I'm talking, I will be showing you one or two. Let's say this is an imbalance market. This is an imbalance candle. This whole candle right here. All right, let me take out this. This whole candle right here, this particular red candle I'm on right now with my cursor is actually an imbalance. So when you are or rather you are looking for how to identify a valid zone, there must be a sweep of liquidity. There must be an imbalance in the market. Do you understand? And there must be a break of structure and unmitigated zones. Unmitigated means, just like I said, unmitigated means this zone was mapped out for you and market has not tapped into it. Meaning is more like when they bought Christmas clothes for us and we have not worn it. It's still very new. We are waiting patiently on that particular date for us. That is the same way we saw this zone is a very nice zone, a virgin zone that market has not come into. So automatically when we see that this market was going bullish, pulling down, and we saw this zone well mapped out for us immediately, and you really want to join this cell, you don't join the cell immediately when you are seeing the candle movement. No, look for a zone and take up your trade. Place your sell limits. Since you really want to join the cell, place your sell limits. And now you placing that your sell limit is you coming into this zone. Trace a sell price and put it there as your sell limit. And you will see a very sweet trade. Instead of you dancing in between the trades and you see the market rallying up again or going up again, and you start shouting or you start shaking, you start having some kind of BP and start telling yourself that you're in deep loss. And immediately you leave the market, probably within some minutes, the market will start going your way. And you will then do what? You regret it. And it's very, very, very bad for a trader to just keep sitting and regretting. No, grab every opportunity you see in the market and make good use of it. So now, talking about the next way to identify this order block, like I said before, there must be a break of structure, and that break of structure is, I'm talking about some traders. I'm not talking about newbies right now. I'm talking about traders, how we can maximize profit with scanners. You know, this actually broke a structure. Do you understand? And right here again, this is actually a break of structure. Do you understand? So even if we see this kind of even if without drawing all of this, you can actually tell yourself that from a higher time frame, I made this kind of zones. You understand? I made this kind of zone. Okay, let me just take a quick sell limit. Just place your trade idea here on your own. You're not waiting for the scanner. You're not waiting for an educator. Place your own and then take up your trades, and it will go your way. Just take up like little pips, even if it's 10, even if it's 20, believe me, it's going to go your way. That's what I have practiced so far. It will go your way. Okay, I talked about sweep of liquidity. I talked about sweep of liquidity. If you watch, if you watch between all of this zone, right now, market swept liquidity and went down like here. I don't know, talking about traders. I'm going to enlarge it for you to actually see. Market swept liquidity around this zone. We can see market actually swept liquidity. So these are the confirmations of other blocks. There must be an imbalance, or you can as well call it FVG, fair value gap, and it must sweep liquidity, and there must be a break of structures. Everything is complete here, and that is why market respected the zone. And don't forget, another block can be respected. Another block can be nulled, meaning it can be irrelevant. Another block might also not be respected. And that is the block we actually call reaction zones. So there are reaction zones and there are valid zones. So the valid zones are what I'm actually mapping out for you. Valid zones, especially when they are not being mitigated in the market. They are just zones alone you saw without market coming into it. Those kind of zones are the kind of zones I actually love to look out for, especially on a higher time frame. Now, types of this order block we're talking about, like this particular zone right now, we call it a bearish order block. Then this zone below here, wherever it started from, this zone below here, we actually call it a bullish order block. Same thing applicable to this particular zone. You understand? Same thing applicable to this particular zone. Imagine we're seeing the market rallying up, and suddenly we saw a zone provided for us. If I want to join this ride, I want to join this ride up, I'll wait for the market to come and tap into the zone. It might tap in with a wick, it might tap in with a body of the candle. So long as there is a tap inside your zone, take up your trade. Or before it taps in, if you cannot afford to keep looking at your system, before it taps in, please just put your sell limit or your buy limit and allow the market to come to you. If you watch, this market tapped here the second time, rallied up, tapped here the third time. And now, to me as a trader, I will tell you that this is a very valid support zone, because a tap of support zone, a tap at the support zone 3 times and above is actually a very, very valid zone. So immediately it tapped here, the rally was now very bullish, because no other market tapped into it until it came here, produced another zone for us, and tapped into this zone again. Probably someone who lost the sell market right from here. The person might wake up and say, okay, fine, let me look for a very nice zone to take my entry. This is actually your real zone, your nice zone to take your entry. And immediately what happened? Market came to it and went down again to sweep off this liquidity. It is now a liquidity reason market has tapped into here countless times, giving us some sort of equal low liquidity. If you make your lines from here, you can call this zone equal low liquidity. Some persons who are traders who understand they can actually relate. So now this kind of movement, this kind of impulse movement, is only news that can actually cause this kind of movement. Because of what? Market cited that liquidity and decided to sweep it off before trying to rally up again or doing some kind of retracement. Now there is something else I actually want to talk about. I've told you the strategies, how you can actually trade these whole zones. I actually want to show you something at 4 hours time frame. Something happened there. I and a friend, you guys also know her, Coach Majubi. We actually took this trade idea on gold. This is gold. We met this trade coming into this zone. You understand? And we kind of like place sell limits. And suddenly, market on its own now called the trade idea while we were already on the trade. Now, our entry was above our SL. If you watch, this is where the SL is. And already, we took a zone. Sorry, we took a price around the zone. So imagine we sitting here like we are here to sell. We are here to ride with gold. Imagine we staying here and suddenly We were there trying to more like doing some scalp, probably like 30 pips. And while we're on the trade, market called this trade idea. And afterwards, what happened? We decided to take our parameters from the TPs. Do you understand? And after some days, this market went for 10 days. And after some days, the market hit TP5. As it hit TP5, it gave us another zone. Immediately I saw this zone, I knew that there is a place or there is a lower time frame where this market had called a buy trade idea for us. I quickly dashed into where my 3 hours time frame. I want to show you how magical smart monies can actually be. My 3 hours time frame, that same zone called a buy trade idea. And that trade idea is on a zone because me, I like taking trades from zones. It actually plays out well. If you watch, see it, market tapped in here. No market has come to it. And suddenly what happened? The sell trade idea that was called up on 4 hours time frame tapped into that particular zone and created its own zone around that area, and then gave us a trade idea that is a retracement leg, a buy market. It was called up on 3 hours time frame. That is how this Smartmonics actually works. So for instance, now, probably you see, what I'm trying to say is, for instance, you see a trade idea being called up on a higher time frames, and suddenly you see the market trying to reverse. That's from sell market is trying to go on a buy market. I would advise you, you go for a lower time frame and look out for a trade idea for a buy. A trade idea that is saying something for a buy. That's what I would advise you to do. I would urge you to do that because it happens often. And another thing I want you to know is Smartmonics doesn't really call trade idea the way TrendWave does, the way some of the scanners actually does. No, it doesn't. If you see Smart Money actually giving you a sell trade idea on higher time frames, and you're seeing a buy trade idea on lower time frame, any time frame that you see it, just tell yourself, just know that that lower time frame called for a retracement. Do you understand? It called for a retracement, while the higher time frame is telling you the general trend of the market might be a sell market. That market might sell for like 10 days, 15 days. Just imagine, let me go back to this 4 hours time frame to explain to you further. Like this 4 hours time frame, imagine we had been on this trade for a whole 10 days. You know, written here is 109 pips for us at the TP5. So imagine we had been on this trade for like 10 days. Now, suddenly, there are buys in between these trades. And you all know that Eric Lucas has been giving us a buy trade idea, even while the 4 hours time frame is selling. So you see, most of his buy trade ideas within these whole zones here is actually what? Is actually a retracement. So now when you go to your lower time frames, you can actually be seeing those retracement legs. I'm just trying to tell you because some persons have come to my DM to tell me that why am I seeing a sell on a maybe 1 hour time frame? I'm seeing a buy on 5 minutes time frame. I always tell them, if a sell is on your 1 hour time frame and you see a buy on your 5 minutes time frame, that 5 minutes time frame is actually a reversal time frame. Let me not just a reversal time frame, but rather a reversal trade idea. That is what was called for you. So now, while you are at it, it's not all reversal time trade ideas that you can actually follow up to TP5. To me, Smart Monies gave us 5 TPs. I am not actually a greedy trader. I can actually go for TP1. I can actually go for TP2, depending on my loss size. But I can go for TP3 when I am very ready to sit with my system and trail my stop loss. I must confess to you, that is just the only way you can actually maximize profits using your little lot. Do you understand? So now another thing I actually want to talk about is as for the newbies, like the lower time frames, I wouldn't want you guys to always go for 3 minutes time frame. I have seen someone who actually went for a 3 minutes time frame, and the person told me he hit a sell twice in a day. And you hit a sell twice in a day, you never deem it fit to check other trade ideas on your higher time frames or anywhere, but rather you kept being on that 3 minutes time frame. And he has told me before that it favored him though, but then on a particular day, he hit a sell twice and he closed his system. That same guy, actually he's my the same day that he actually made it. So now what I'm trying to say in essence is, please, if we can be patient enough with our smart money scanner, it's actually going to go a long way for us. Smart money scanner is actually very, very easy for you to use. As a newbie, just focus on 5 minutes time frame, 15 minutes time frame, 30 minutes time frame, 1 hour, 4 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. If you can't go higher, just like at least make sure you are close to 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and 30 minutes. Just keep your watch. You will see a trade idea. In a day, you must hit profit. That is a must. I'm telling you, you must hit profit. That's for the newbies. But for the traders who have an idea as a trader, please look out for zones. And in newbies, whenever you're taking a trade, please, I forgot to mention this, let your trade ideas be on a zone. Make sure that the trade ideas, whenever it's being called up, this 3 minutes is out of it. To me, I don't really like using it. You understand? 3 minutes is out of it. For instance, now this is our 5 minutes time frame. And this 5 minutes time frame is now telling us that this market is going to go on a buy. You understand? And it is actually, it was called on a zone. So now I can take up this trade idea. And if I'm to take up this trade idea, nothing will make me go past TP1. Do you know why? There is another zone around that TP1. So I call these zones a trap. You understand? So when I'm taking my trade ideas, or rather when I'm taking my trades, and I see a trade idea pop out, when I'm taking my trades, I actually want to stay put wherever I see that zone. I cannot go above my zones. So long as that zone is at my TP3, I will not go close to that place. I will just want to take my trades. Let my TP be at my TP2. Do you understand? As a newbie. But if you are a forex trader, at least your hand is very strong. You can tell yourself that, okay, if this market gets to my TP2, I can actually trade my stop loss. I want to see the end of this trade idea. I want to know what's happening. You can trade your stop loss and follow it up. But be rest assured that each zones you see, market must tap into it and there must be a reaction. If you are on a sell market and the market sees a zone below, if you're on a sell market, for instance now, let's say this market now, this particular place right now, let me zoom out for you guys to see. Assuming you were selling on this zone, and at some point we see this zone below. Let's say this trade idea is a sell market. We now see this zone here, above here is our resistance zones. Now, selling from the resistance zone, we actually see a zone below. Instead of me to continue selling or being greedy in the market, I can't sell close to this zone because anything can happen, especially when there is news. You don't know, you might just say, okay, let me take my take profit inside, let me push my take profit inside this zone. Markets might just tap into this zone and then give us a very long spike reversal. That is if news triggered it. But if you are on a trade and you see that you are on a sell trade, there is a zone below. If I were you, you take your profit just before the zone. The zone is actually giving you a confidence or a confirmation that this market will actually go below. Do you understand? That's just what the zones are here for. The zones are here for reactions. Please, it's actually not difficult for us to take trades. We can actually take our own trade ideas by ourselves. We can set our own trade ideas by ourselves. We can go to even 30 minutes time frame, look out for trade zones, you know. Okay, let's see these zones right now. Market has tapped into this zone. You see, market has tapped into this zone. This is 30 minutes time frame. Market has tapped into this zone, just like what I saw on my 4 hours time frame. If I'm to take this, if I'm to take sell again, I'm not going to take any sell from this zone for the now because market has diverging this zone for me. I'm looking out for zones that market has not really tapped into. Those zones are more valid, especially when I catch them at the higher time frames. Do you understand? I don't know if I'm being followed, or are you guys following? You can mute yourself and say a word.
No, they are muted because I don't think they have permission.
Okay, but they can hear me.
You can send
All
message
right,
here.
all right. The mentor, I feel I should give them a little room for like questions because I don't want to go more technical. So I feel I should just give them room for questions. It will be easier
Okay.
for us to communicate.
All right. So I think you have one question here. Someone is asking, what is the best time frame?
Oh, to me, I would say to me, all traders do have their best time frames, but to me, I love higher time frames. I love 4 hours, I love 3 hours, I love 2 hours. I equally love 1 hour. Do you understand? But as a trader, our entry time frame is always 15 minutes time frame. When we must have done our analysis from a higher time frame, we'll see that the market has been selling. Now, how can we enter this sell trade idea? Like, how can we enter this sell to follow this, to follow the sell markets to push down? You understand? You can go to your 15 minutes time frame. If you go to your 15 minutes time frame and you see a zone, just like I said, and even I'm on my higher time frame right now, and I see that this market, like this gold has been selling, and I go to my 15 minutes time frame, probably I see a zone just left out by itself like that without being mitigated by other markets. I will pick out my sell limit from there. Like this zone now, this is what I call a zone. This particular stuff. Imagine we see it around this zone. Imagine we see it around here. Imagine we see that kind of thing around here. Well mapped out for us like this. I'll pick out my trade idea from there. I'll pick out my own sell limit from there. Set my limit and allow this market that is coming up right now, I will allow it to tap into it and pick me up and go to our direction. So I hope I've answered the question.
Okay, there's another question here. Someone is saying that for those with small trading accounts or trading capital, like $100 or $200, can they go for trade ideas on a higher time frame?
Can they go for what?
Ideas on higher time frame. Like someone with small accounts, can they take ideas from the higher time frame?
Of course. Of course you are. Of course you can. Let's say, let me go to my 4 hours time frame. Maybe I forgot to say this. One thing I like about Smartmonics is that they actually minimized our stop losses for us. Yes, they did. Now, whatever thing you see on this Smartmonics, especially on gold, you understand? Because I love to trade gold, even USD JPY. Yes, I trade it too. So now, if actually you see this invalid, you can see beside it 22 pips. So someone with $100 account can actually go for 0.01. If you're on a higher time frame, stick to your lowest lot, 0.01. If it hits you on SL, you're losing $22. I think that's fair. But if you go your way, probably TP2, you're making $44. So regardless of your account size and regardless of the time frame, you can trade with Smartmonics regardless of the account size and regardless of the time frame. You can, because they already minimized the SL for us. The SL is not wide. It's not wide enough. It's not so
Okay.
wide. It's not like trend wave.
All right, good. So someone here has the question is sometimes I see write up like crab, A, B, C, D, etc. That's etc. on Smartmonics. What do they mean?
They are harmonic signs. giving you more confirmations. This is it. I hope the person is saying it, something like this. You can see that crab, you can see butterfly, you can see A, B, C, D. They are just harmonic signs showing you or giving you a confirmation that, this trade is going to go bearish. Or if you see it at the support zone, you can tell yourself that this market is actually going to go bullish. You understand? It's just a harmonic sign. And sometimes, or most times, whenever you see it appear without a trade idea, just know that a trade idea is going to happen within seconds or minutes, or anytime soon. A trade idea is going to pop out. So it's just patient for you to watch it.
Okay, so the next question here is, if you don't mind, can we have a live example, like probably with a demo? Okay, let me answer that quick one. Today is Friday, first of all, and then also a US holiday. Combination of that, you can't have a trade today. Even I don't know if crypto is working out. I don't know, but then
crypto like BTC, right?
The volume is low. Even for crypto on Friday evening, the volume is low. By tomorrow, maybe the volume will regulate and all that. But you can check, you see. So the person is saying that if you can have a test, like how do you know that if you can trade like an example. So I think what she wants to see is, how do you know when the new trade has popped up? You know, when you say new trade that has popped up, probably how do you take the trades? How do you put it on your demo and all that? Yeah.
How do we place it on our demo? Wow. How would you place it on your demo? If a new trade idea pops out, there is always our POI given to us. If a new trade idea pops up, it's very cool now. You'll see your POI, you'll see your SL, you see your TPs. I don't know if that person knows how to place trade on MT5, or you're just saying, or you're just asking or wondering, how do we know if it's a sell or if it's a buy? I don't understand that question. But first of all, this is BTC. I don't know if this will answer your question. This is BTC and this 15 minutes time frame. Just like I was saying. Are you guys seeing this zone? This particular zone right here now. Market was just going so bullish, like going up. And suddenly, if I see this market now, if I see this trade idea, or sorry, this zone, what I would do is, I was not on time for the sell market. What I would do is, I will wait for this market here. At least, even if it's a little scalp. Did you see how this market came to this zone? Are we all seeing it? It tapped into this zone. And the way I'm seeing this market is not going to rally so up. Do you know why? There is another zone above, which is here. There is another zone that is mapped out for us. So there is a possibility that this market, as it tapped into here, it reacted. Those are those things I'm talking about. Once you see a zone, you can take up a trade idea by yourself. Or if you do not want to go so far, like you don't want to like take your TP so far, all you can actually do is you can actually scalp it. I know this market is going to tap into this zone. What is going to happen if market taps into my demand zone? That demand zone is going to be a buy market. And that's exactly what's happening right now. It tapped into this zone, started giving us a green candle. And as I speak to you, the next candle that is about opening is still the green candle. So now, if I'm to take this trade, let's say I've taken it already, market has tapped into my zone, and where is my TP gonna be? I will go close to this zone and take my TP. Do you know why? Just in case the market just tapped only with a little wick inside that zone, I will still be very safe because market must have kicked me out. My TP was there, meaning I was there before the market tapped into the zone. Please, did that answer our question? Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, you can hear you.
So with what I just explained now, based on the zone, I don't know, did anyone hear me?
Yeah, someone said, can you explain can you repeat the last explanation?
Okay. I said, initially I said, if you want to get, if you want to know a valid zone, number one, a valid zone, it must sweep liquidity, there must be an imbalance, and it must be unmitigated, and it must break a structure. Do you understand? Now, within this whole zone that is well mapped out now, this market actually swapped liquidity here, and it came down here, broke this structure, and there are imbalances on it. See, there are imbalances. This is an impulsive movement, having a whole big candles on it. There are imbalances in the market. Do you understand? Okay, now the market, or rather the scanner, called out a zone for us. This zone right here, no market has tapped into it, meaning it's still very much available, is very valid. You see this market coming down here. Probably you were not on a buy market on time. Instead of you rallying up, following the market from anywhere, no, you have to wait for a very good entry. And that your entry is you looking for a zone where the scanner has already called for you. Place your entry around that zone. If I'm on this trade right now, looking out for BTC, I will always be looking out. This is my POI. This is where my point of interest will be, because it's a zone that is mapped out for me. I will just look for, personally me, I like taking my trade idea from this dotted line, demarcating the green and the red zones. That's the buy and the sell zones. So now I'll take my price here. And if you watch, market actually tapped directly on that line. And that is at 107,260. 107,260. And immediately market tapped into it, what happened? It gave us a buy market. It reacted into it. So I will just take out maybe like, even if it's 10 pips from this trade, more like a scalp. If I still want to stay in the market, I'll take it up, probably come very close to this zone, because he gave me another zone above. So you trade from zone to zone. And when you are trading from zones, you'll be profitable. You don't just trade trades from zones, because that is actually where large institutional traders are. Can you hear me?
They can hear you.
Can you hear
me? In between time, your network actually put you up.
Oh, sorry. Okay, the person that talked about how to take trades maybe from the zone, I think that was the question. What I said is, when you see this zone, like when you see a zone that has not been mitigated, mitigation means market has not actually come into the zones. It's actually a valid zone for me. I'll just take out my price. Even if I do not want to stay long in the market, I can put up a price there. Market will come there, tap into it, or tap into my price, and then take me up. Even if it's 10 pips or 20 pips, I can scalp. Do you understand? I can scalp because I know very sure, very well that market must react. On each zone market taps into, it must react. Now, anything that makes this market, there is another zone given to us above here, which is at the resistance zone. We already know what's resistance and support zone. There is no point talking about it, because our last section, it was well explained. So now, what I'm talking about now is this zone. This particular zone here is a new zone. Anything that makes the market to tap into it, that market is actually going to react. And what's the reaction of the market? Market coming from a support zone from down here, coming down to this zone, is going to do what? It's going to sell. If market is coming from the resistance zone, that's from up, tapping into the below zone, is going to buy. I don't know if that explains their questions.
Yeah, they said it's clear. Now,
Okay.
irrespective of the fact that people have to ask questions,
All right.
okay, it is expected that some of us, at least we should know some basic things. If you have gone to our back office or you have attended the 8 p.m. Call and all that, okay? But then we have another question here.
All right.
How do I know if I'm to buy or sell at that zone? I was thinking this is explained, but anyway, it's your question. That's the question I have here. It's a newbie.
Okay. Okay, a newbie. Fine. As a newbie, there are ways you can actually enter these zones. Though I don't advise newbies to trade on zones, so but then I will explain. When you see your market coming from a sell market or from your resistance, let's say this market, right, like this now, for instance, is a sell market, and suddenly we saw a zone below. Market did what? Market tapped into it. Immediately you see market tapping into it, you take a buy. And when you take your buy, probably you want to do scalping. You scalp because you're a newbie. But if you are a trader, you see the another zone above, just right close to it, it's going to give you an edge to maximize your profits, probably close to that zone, and take your profit. I don't know if that answered this question. And then most of the times, to confirm, you will see a sign of divergence around here just by your RSI. Can the person actually see it? That sign of divergence is more confirmation to tell you that that zone is actually going to buy. And what are we seeing in the market? The market bought. I thank God I even tapped into this BTC for us to use it as an instance, at least to illustrate one or two. So I don't know if that answered the question for the person. When you see a zone below, market will tap into it and it's going to be a buy. When you see a zone above, market will tap into it, it's going to be a sell. But let it be a zone that has not been touched, a virgin zone, especially. The market goes way far if it does tap into it.
All right, good one. One last question. Anyone?
Okay.
All right. Let me see. Divergence as the regular and AD divergence. Divergence as the regular and hidden divergence. Is that a question or confirmation? Like, okay, someone is saying, please explain virgin zone.
Virgin zones. I just said it. Virgin zones, I call them virgin zones for newbies to understand. But normally we call it unmitigated zones. Unmitigated zones or virgin zones, as the person calls it, there are zones that market has not tapped into it. Like this zone right now, let's say this market, I hope the person is saying, let's say this market has not come to this zone, this particular recent market now. Let's say it hasn't tapped into this zone now, and probably we saw this sell at this point. Automatically, we know this zone is a virgin zone. Nothing has come into it. Do you understand now? Do you understand?
All right, I think yes. He said yes.
Okay.
All right,
That's
sorry.
all.
This person talking about hidden divergence and all that. Anyways, here
Okay.
there's not like hidden divergence. Okay,
There's
there are
no
two types
hidden
of
divergence
divergence
here.
here. No, don't worry. Let me answer that. So there are two types of divergence here. There is divergence for the oversold, the overbought area, and the oversold area. Okay, the one at the top is overbought. Okay, it tells you the moment there is another divergence there, to indicate that to you. You know that it's a sell when you see it in red. And the one that is around the oversold area is the one for the oversold to tell you. And when the market is oversold, you buy. It's as simple as that, you know. GFU is making trading easy for newbies and as also for the professionals. Okay. So here we only use that. That's both the divergence just for the overbought and oversold area. That's it. All right.
Okay.
Someone is saying
Okay.
moving average that changes color during the trade. All right. Though you don't take advantage when it comes to demand and supply, moving average is the least of your worry. In fact, it's not even part of the things you consider.
Yes,
You
it's not
understand?
part of it. That's why I didn't talk about it. Yeah. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
really
someone
part
is
of it.
asking how to take advantage of it. How do we know when markets will not break the zone? I mean, we can't know, just like we won't know when the rain will fall and when it will not. We wait. In Forex, you wait till it happens. When the
Yeah.
market get to a zone, reaction, when you see it react, your job is just, okay, zone has been drawn according to what the coach has said.
Yeah.
When it gets to the zone, if it's a buy zone or the zone at the below ones, you buy from there. Okay, especially if it has not been used up, which is where the veggie zone comes in. If the
Yeah.
place have not been used up, like where she's pointing now, is already used
Yeah,
up.
just like this now. Imagine imagine this didn't come out, and this zone now is a virgin zone for us because nothing has tapped into it. Just imagine how market has been above it, and suddenly it tapped into it. And what happened? A trade idea was called off for us, and is a buy. It cleared the whole TPs. Do you know why? There is a zone above it went to mitigate. That is how smart money works. And when we trace this zone right now, you see, this is the third time market tapped into this zone. And what happened is going to be a very massive sell. And like I was saying, I said a valid zone when it comes to resistance, 3 touches and above is actually a valid resistance zones. Anything that makes, you see this one, this zone right here now was a virgin. Before market tapped into it, then you left it. Suddenly, you now see market on your own. You know, before market will come back to it again the third time, it's going to take time. So now, on your own, you see market has been rallying down, going bearish. And suddenly, probably weeks, because this is 1 hour time frame. So probably weeks, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. So you now saw the market coming where? Coming back to this zone again. How about now? Respecting the zone again. You take up yourself because it's going to sell. 3 touches and above on a zone is what we call a valid resistance zone. If it's 3 touches below is what we call the support zone. There was a place I talked about it. I think that was on gold. I saw a very valid support zone. And what happened? Gold rallied up. It went bullish. You understand? So these zones are very important to us. If you happen to see it as a virgin zone, like market has not mitigated it, it's actually an edge for you to maximize profits. So that's it.
Okay, does it mean, so now, do you all understand what the virgin zone means now, right? Is there anybody who doesn't still understand what the virgin zone is? Okay, Samuel, maybe you came late. That was the first question that was asked. That was the best time frame to use. And the speaker said from 15 minutes, or
Yeah,
even, she's
15.
here anyway, just wait in here.
Okay, the best time frame for a trader to actually use, at least from 15 minutes. I call 5 minutes downwards, that's scalping trade, that's scalping time frames. But I always recommend 5 minutes and above for newbies. Because when you are on a system, they don't really understand. The reason I recommend it for them is they don't really understand the whole thing about trading. So all they look out for is just a trade idea to pop out. And now 5 minutes time frame seems to always come out like at least 3 times in a day, you will see a trade idea. I'm very certain about that. Just in a particular pair, you will see a trade idea popped out. Only if you're watching it like a television. But if you're not, you always complain that you didn't see trade ideas, didn't see trade ideas. But it always comes out. Imagine you see 3 trade ideas and 2 goes your way and 1 hits on SL. I mean, smart money doesn't give you a large SL. It's doable. You understand? You're still profitable seeing 2 trades out of 3. So That's it.
Okay. See, I think someone is saying that they need more clarity on that virgin zone. What you do, maybe you should tap, show them the first touch. Like, okay, when the first zone was created, if there's no tap into that zone already, that zone is virgin. Like, show them like that so they will see. Maybe that is their clarity.
So, okay, I should use an object to mark the drawing, or I should start looking for a zone that has not been mitigated. Because this is a clarity. This is a clear example. Okay, let me do something. Let me do something. Okay. Please, whoever that needs that clarity of a virgin zone, please, with this my mapped out right now, I want you to assume that this market wasn't even here. Like, we've not seen this market at all. And right now, the market is just probably by this MA line, that's moving average line. Let's just say the market is just here, just directly where this stuff stopped. You understand? This is my rectangle or the square stopped. So let's say there is no market around here. This is where we have now. This is where market, we just saw market. Now, between all of us, what should we actually do? All we need to do is, as in between all of us, we'll be wondering, what next step to take? So all we need to do is just to keep looking at the system like we are watching televisions. Because of what? We are seeing a virgin zone. Market has not come down to this place to touch it. I don't know the language to use again. Market has not touched down, in fact, to this place that they marked green and red. Market has not come in to touch it again. That means the zone is still very much virgin. When they buy Christmas clothes, I used that illustration before. When they buy Christmas clothes for us, we don't want to wear it while we're kids. We want to wear it at on the 25th of December just to do our own show off. You understand? So meaning that that cloth is still a virgin for us. So now market has been rallying up, provided this zone, and since it has been going up, down, up, down, up, down, none of them don't reach here. I hope so the person don't understand that now. So as none of them never reach here, let me use broken. As none of them never reach here, the market, the zone is still very much a virgin one. So what do you anticipate in the market? You are anticipating that this market you are seeing right here, you want it to sell down to this zone and pick you up on a buy market. That is it. I don't know if I'm making sense or if I'm being understood.
That's clear enough. That's clear enough.
Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wrap. It's been a very wonderful moment with Coach Amaka. She has done justice to this training, and the questions have been asked. If you have other questions, you can post it on the group. She will respond. She will respond to you, and the video will be out. Of course, you can watch the video again to get more clarity. Also, to also tell us the best way to enjoy sessions like this to come early, so you can, you can actually catch up and also not ask the question that have been asked before you came in. Okay. Thank you very much, Coach Tacha. We enjoyed your session.
All
God
right.
bless
Thank
you.
you,
And God bless
Mentor.
everyone. Let's have a wonderful night.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.